Okay, welcome back, everyone, to another great episode of The Human Role. I'm your host, Tiana Neal, and today we are having a great episode where we talk about your career journey. So whether you're just starting off in your career and need some heavy insights, or if you are in the middle of your career and need to pivot, we are here with my lovely colleague, Jenny Araque. Jenny is the CEO and founder of iRise Careers, and she is soon going to launch another great platform called Career 360. So we are going to allow Jenny to get into her background, let you all know how she got to this point, everything that iRise Careers is doing in the community. A little bit later, we'll get into more details on Career 360, but Jenny, so great to have you here today. Really glad to introduce you to my network of people. And please have the floor and just let us know your background and how you've landed your place here at iRise.
Thank you. And thank you so much, Tiana, for having me here today. It's really exciting to be a part of this podcast with you. So as Tiana said, my name is Jenny Araque, and I am the founder and CEO of iRise Careers. At iRise Careers, we support individuals, businesses, communities, organizations, and schools to thrive in their careers. So a big part of our business is to empower individuals, companies, and communities through their career journeys. So what that looks like in practice is professional coaching for individuals, human resources consulting for businesses, and custom workshop sessions and seminars for communities and organizations to help them meet their goals. And how I got here is a really fun story for me. I spent 20 years in human resources in corporate, spanning the top professional services firms in the world. So I started out with attorneys, then worked with accountants, then physicians, and then consultants. And over that 20-year career, there was a common theme that really made me enjoy the work that I was doing, and that was helping people. So through that work, I really discovered that my passion is to help other people thrive in their careers. And I found that I was able to make a bigger impact in doing that on my own rather than for an organization. So here I am after founding iRise Careers, and I'm really excited about the platform that I have here with Tiana today to be able to share a little bit more about the business and the personal career management system, Career 360, that we'll be launching soon.
Really excited to get into that. But before, let's talk about more like the career journey, right? So as Jenny mentioned, she has a long range of many years of experience in the HR industry. So please take a note on all of her insight, all of the advice that she'll be giving in a few. But let's get into the trends in the workforce. So as we know, lots of things are changing. We have multiple generations in the workforce now. We've got more than just people coming into the office, like when we started off in our career many years ago, decades ago, I guess you can say. So what shifts are you seeing in how professionals view their career growth in today's market?
That's a great question, and one that I gave a lot of thought to preparing for today. The biggest shift that I'm seeing is that linear career paths are a thing of the past. So no longer are people going to college and just starting in one employer and climbing up the ladder at that employer for the duration of their career. That has shifted dramatically. Nowadays, we're seeing a lot more non-linear career paths where individuals are changing careers on average every 4.5 years, which I thought was a really staggering statistic because 4.5 years, that's changing jobs about 10 times in your career from high school through retirement for the average individual. Now, that doesn't mean that you're changing companies every 4.5 years. It just means that you are ready to take on something new, a new challenge, whether it's at your current employer or elsewhere. So the good news for that, for employers that are trying to retain their talent longer than 4.5 years, is that we can give those opportunities to individuals as employers by shifting to more skills-based learning. There's a big shift right now to skill-based hiring. So in order to keep up with that, employers need to start thinking about skill-based learning as well to make sure that individuals have those opportunities to continue to grow within their careers. The other theme is movement between roles and industries. So again, within the same company, you can change roles and still get that career path trajectory that you're looking for in the same company, but perhaps taking on a different role. You can also switch industries altogether. So I'm a perfect example of that. For HR, thankfully, it's something that you can do in any type of industry, in any type of company. So I stayed with professional services, but I did switch industries within professional services. And that's something that we're seeing a lot of happening nowadays as well. And then the final two themes that I'm seeing are entrepreneurship and freelance work. So a couple of years ago, gig workers started to be more prevalent in the workforce. And now we're seeing that take full force with entrepreneurship and freelance work. A lot of individuals, when they start out their search for a new job nowadays, perhaps they're not finding exactly what they're looking for. They're not getting the remote work or maybe the benefits or the culture that they're looking for. So what are they doing? They're just starting their own businesses altogether, which is a really exciting thing because we're getting a lot more innovation and new ideas come to life. And that is helping to support that non-linear career path. And then finally, early retirement breaks and sabbaticals. So we're seeing a lot of individuals, particularly seeing this in the millennial group, taking early retirement or taking breaks and sabbaticals and then coming back to work. And I think all of that is just a sign of burnout. A lot of people have worked so hard in the traditional linear path that has been the norm in the career industry and deciding, you know what, I need a little break. And then figuring out what they want to do when they come back. So those are some of the big themes that I'm seeing in terms of career trajectory and growth.
Yeah, so I feel like she's also explained my career journey as well too, like changing industry, starting your own business, that's a whole thing. And then also switching jobs. I do remember way back in the day, well, like express my age here, but I do remember when I first was going to leave my big company that I was working at and how hard that was, for my family to like, okay, you are going to take a leap. And for me, it worked out well. I know some people end up going back to where they started off at, but for me, it helped me learn other things. To what Jenny was saying, the different industries is really, really key, right? So like a retail to a technology company, manufacturing company, warehouse company, totally ran different. And from an HR stance, you can really get into some really good experience that you may not get if you just stay in one spot for many, many years. So no judgment on anyone who does that, but those were some very key points. And then we're talking about innovation, which is leading me to my next big question. Of course, the two little letters that are taking over the world, I feel like right now, AI. And we do have to continue to reinvent ourselves, right? So as I have said many times in past episodes, really become more strategic, right? So if you're doing a lot of clicking around or a lot of manual work, right? I really can see from my end that AI is definitely starting to get rid of those types of roles, right? And so we really need to innovate ourselves and really focus more on heavier strategic roles. And if they're not in our current role right now, kind of like figure out a path to put them into that role. So my next question to Jenny is really how is the rise of AI really affecting things in the career journey, especially remote work now that COVID is hit and people are used to being at home, these hybrid roles as well, because people definitely want to be at home. So I think a flexible work schedule is key. And then, really how is it shaping more skill-based hiring that Jenny mentioned, if she can elaborate a little bit more on that when it comes to someone's career path.
Thank you, Tiana. So those are three very different categories. So as I was preparing for today, I was like, I can't mix all those together. I have to separate them out because they're so important in today's landscape for job seekers and hiring managers that I want to tackle them individually, if that's okay. Yeah. So for AI, the way that I'm looking at AI right now in human resources is it's here to stay. Like it or not, AI is here to stay. So I'm looking at it from two sides. I'm looking at it as an HR employer, HR employee. We need to embrace AI because our talent is embracing AI. Our business partners are embracing AI. So if we don't, as an HR professional, we are the ones lagging. So it's super important that if you haven't started to experiment with AI, that you do, because you don't want to be left behind. In order to stay involved in the game, in order to continue progressing in your career, we have to embrace change and we have to embrace AI. So that's one part of it. The other part of it is don't be scared of it because it's here. So we might as well learn to embrace it and work smarter, not harder. My experience with AI at first was, I'm not sure, I don't know what to use it for, and, kind of feeling just uneasy and scared until I using it. And now I use AI for everything. I mean, absolutely everything. And it's not to do our job for us. It is to help us do our job better. So I think it's a huge advantage for those of us that do embrace AI to be just ahead of the curve a bit in comparison to those that maybe are not. And as HR professionals, understanding that your employees are using AI as well, and they are learning how to navigate this world. So we need to be able to support them in that journey as well. And we can't do that if we don't know how to use it ourselves. So that's my comment on AI. Remote work. Remote work right now, it's kind of one of those taboo terms, I feel like, because you're either really for remote work or you're really against it. And it can be very divisive depending on what room you're in. What I will say about remote work as it relates to career journeys is both sides, employers and employees, really just need to think about, is it a nice to have or is it a must have? Because for individuals, if it's a must have for them, they will find alternate employment arrangements and they will find another way to get their end goal of landing a job if it's a must have for them. Same thing for employers. I'm seeing this on the hiring side of the house. Employers sometimes are missing out on incredible talent because they don't want to embrace remote work. They want someone that is in a specific city, can go to the office every day. And it's costing them the best talent for the job or costing them having to relocate people with the risk of those people leaving. So remote work right now, it's really a big hot topic in the world of the career journey because you either really need it and you want it or you don't and you're really against it. So it's really just kind of finding a happy medium. Another taboo term, I think nowadays is DEI, but it's really relevant when we talk about remote work because a lot of people that are either caregivers or have limited means of getting to and from certain locations are diverse individuals, and we are limiting those opportunities for those diverse individuals by not considering remote work. So that's just my spiel on remote work and just the importance of understanding, is it a must-have or nice to have on both sides of the house? And then finally, skill-based hiring. This one I think is the most interesting one that you pitched to me, Tiana, and I'm excited to talk about it. It's because skill-based hiring is here and companies are not ready for it. Companies are not, yes, they are not ready for it. And the reason I say that is because we are embracing AI on the company side for hiring, and we haven't necessarily set up our processes and our systems to support what that means. Then on top of that, you're layering in this concept of skill-based hiring when companies still haven't even really fully caught up to AI in their hiring practices. So how do we solve this problem? How does everybody get on the same page with skill-based hiring? In my opinion, I think it's really what leads to what we're going to talk about here in a second with Career 360 is understanding that the world of resumes in the future is going to disappear. It's starting to happen now because people are using AI and everybody looks exactly the same on paper when they go through the applicant tracking systems. So how can we differentiate candidates? It's through their skills and through the whole person, not just their resume. So skill-based hiring, I think, is one of those things that to get it right, employers really need to get their processes and systems set up properly for efficient and effective hiring and control the skill-based hiring as part of that process, not have it be something that's extra or added or an experiment. It's really something that needs to start getting integrated very quickly so that you can also have the best hiring outcomes and not get caught in this pool of thousands of applicants that you can't differentiate.
Yes. Ding, ding, ding. All three she nailed. So let's start off with AI first. She took the words out of my mouth. AI is here to stay, people. We cannot run from it. I as well have the same experience as Jenny. At first, I could not stand it. I was like, no. And then, had to get on board. So if you're not there yet, you're definitely behind. That was me a couple years ago. So definitely get caught up to speed, work smarter, not harder. And AI definitely is helping us get to that point. And so if you have not tried it, just try it out. You will be fascinated at how quickly you'll get responses. And a lot of times it's just me kind of dumping in, hey, these are my ideas. I think I'm on the right path here. Am I correct? And it'll say yay or nay, give you some other suggestions. So it's a great tool. Keyword tool kind of helps HR people feel that way. Remote work. It is one thing where I just feel like we have all gotten used to it, right? We had no choice during COVID. I was in shock back in 2020 when I got to see that, oh, I can actually do my job, at home. Although there were some things that I needed to go into office for, but we worked around it during that time. And Jenny is correct. There are just some people still in the workforce that are totally against remote work. And usually when I run into companies like that, I have a hard time with how to massage the conversation because you don't want to miss out on great talent, right? Just because, one person doesn't want to agree to 1 or 2 days at home. That can be a game changer and could be very helpful for people who really need it for very specific reasons. And then the skills-based hiring, that was a good one that companies aren't ready for. And it's like, why did that not pop in my head? This is why she's the expert, you guys. Because literally that is true, right? We do have certain people in the seat at no fault to them that aren't trained on these different type of skills, right? And so instead of fighting someone when they're coming in, presenting these skills, it's better to embrace it. Otherwise, you're going to get so far behind. And the next thing you know, you're going to be trying to catch up years later. So very good points by Jenny. So glad that she was able to give her insight here because it resonates with me very well. I know with you all, it definitely will resonate as well. So let's take those key points, kind of get on board. And now I'm going to ask her for some even more advice. So for anyone out there that is struggling and very unsure on just where to start their career journey, or you're in your career journey, but you're not really sure what the next steps are, what would you say would be some good advice for someone who's kind of struggling at the moment?
Yes. And this is probably my favorite topic when it comes to HR, and it's strategy. So strategy can be a scary word to some people because as HR professionals, we're used to hearing strategy on the business side. Well, guess what? We can have some fun with it too. And it's super important because that's what gives us the competitive edge. It's the strategy. So for anybody who's feeling stuck right now, I encourage you to do one thing, and it is to start with strategy. To do that, there are 4 steps that you need to follow. The first one is going to be to assess. That means assess yourself and assess the market. Try to understand what's your mission, what's your purpose, what are your values, what is it that you are looking for that you're not getting right now. That'll help you come up with your wish list, so to speak, of what it is that you're looking for so that you have that North Star that's going to guide you as you go through this process of a career transition. And then also assessing the market. What does the competition look like? What are companies actually hiring for that might be a good fit for you? And really having a good understanding of yourself and the market before you even do anything. From there, you go into the formulate step. Formulating is all about planning and goals. So what is your goal? Is it to land another job within your company? Is it a promotion at your company? Is it getting out of your company altogether and going somewhere else? Is it just trying a whole new career? I mean, there are so many options that are in front of you to decide what that goal is, and then coming up with the plan to achieve those goals. After the formulate stage, it's implement. So implementing just basically means put it into action and execute and achieve that goal. And then finally, this is the one that people tend to forget, and then you end up getting stuck. We don't want to be stuck ever. So the last step is evaluate. Just like you hear the term continuous learning, I always recommend continuously evaluating. And that means just as you're evaluated every mid-year and year-end at work, do it for yourself and your career and make sure that you take that time once or twice a year to evaluate where you're at in your career and what you might want to change. And then you just go through that whole strategy process over and over and over. Again, I'll repeat it for you. It is assess, formulate, implement, evaluate.
Yay. Okay, there we go. Key points, you guys. And definitely too, I like how Jenny just mentioned to really evaluate yourself, because sometimes we're so focused on others or the company. So you need to have direction to lead yourself into the proper direction. Sometimes you may not know what that is, but there's not a problem with trying a couple of things out. Leaving your comfort zone. I know that's very tough for people to do, but at times it's very necessary. So great advice from Jenny. And now we get to get into Career 360. So launching summer 2025, which is coming up. So if you're watching this later, it may already be launched, so definitely check it out. But I'm going to allow Jenny to get into details on what this is. When I first heard it, I was super excited because nothing like this exists. So I'll let her have the floor again, and then I might have 1 or 2 questions after that.
Thank you. Okay, Career 360. You've never heard of it before, so I am going to tell you what it all is. Career 360 is your personal Career Management System. For short, we're saying PCMS. And what it is your personal career companion that is with you from high school through retirement. So all of those changes we talk about every 4.5 years, all of those skills, your network, your experience, everything, all encompassed into one system that is yours. A big reason why I decided to build this system is to equalize the power imbalance between employers and employees. So if you look at what's out in the market today, employers have all of the HR tech stacks available to them, from hiring to firing and everything in between. Some companies have more than 10 systems to be able to manage their workforce, while individuals don't have anything other than LinkedIn for networking, job boards to apply to jobs. That's it. So every time you try and start a new job or transition, you're leaving all of that career data behind. Career 360 allows you to take your career data with you. It allows you to manage your own career, not by what the company needs from you, but what you want for yourself throughout your career, and allows you to see different career path opportunities for yourself, allows you to see what skills perhaps you might need to grow more to achieve your goals, allows you to use a networking component more like a CRM rather than just a networking tool that's available now. So we're really, really excited to be able to launch Career 360 in time for fall recruiting. We're launching it this summer, like Tiana said, but we're really doing it in time for fall recruitment season because we know so many individuals go through recruiting seasons in the fall. And this is really meant to help you as the individual and to give you a resource that is yours only, not your employer's, to be able to empower you with everything that you need to succeed. So we're really excited about this build out and getting it live. I have a few partners that I do want to mention that have agreed to work with us in different aspects of the platform. The first one is the National Association of Colleges and Employers. So Sean Vanderzeel, thank you so much for allowing us to incorporate the core competencies from NACE into Career 360. That is going to help tremendously for those that are going from college to career, which is a huge population every year. The next partner is Velocity Network. So Atan, thank you so much for partnering with us. And what that will do is allow for individuals to have verifiable credentials. So think about your transcripts, your degrees, all of those things that you continuously need to have for any new role. It can now be part of your Career 360 profile. Lastly, we have a partnership with Yellow, where Yellow is going to be working with us as well to be able to integrate into more of a CRM function for networking and recruitment events. And that's just the start. So we're really looking forward to seeing where this is going to go, how it will grow and develop as you all start to use it, and really seeing what this does for the individual side of the house.
Yay! Super exciting. And I was telling Jenny too, when she first mentioned it, it's like, geez, like, I wish I would have had this many years ago, right? Because sometimes when you're younger, you just don't even know where to begin to network. I did not even realize how critical networking was until some years ago. So it's great that there's going to be a platform that is going to already kind of have that built in. Pretty soon all of us will be using it. So we'll be able to kind of get in there. The transcripts are key, right? So if you have ever gone through where you need to like move to another school, like us, she just graduated from her MBA. I'm getting my MBA. So it's like getting those transcripts is always tough, especially if you moved around a little bit. So it's really important to have everything all in one. So we can kind of just have something to go to, refer to. And as Jenny was mentioning, resumes are essentially kind of going away. We're all kind of having very similar resumes. It's funny because I did see someone sent me their resume the other day, and it was like this new virtual resume with their picture, and it was like, didn't have all the details, but it had just enough. And I was like, oh, I guess this is like their new virtual card. So she literally is already on top of it, of course, because that is essentially going to go away. Most people just want to see your LinkedIn anyways. They see who you're connected to. I've gotten roles because people have reached out to mutual connections before they've ever really even engaged with me. That's all going to be critical. It's going to be really important for your future. And I am just so excited to see when this launches. So glad to be able to at least help with the launch initially. She already had some really great vendors, and we got more to come. So really thankful to have you here, Jenny, and to talk about not only iRise Careers, but also the upcoming Career 360. So we'll make sure to keep an eye out on that, share that on all our pages. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to connect with Jenny directly, send her messages. I'm sure she'd be more than happy to help.
Yes, I would love that. And thank you again so much, Tiana, for having me.
All righty. So we will be back with I'll be back at least with another great episode in a couple of weeks. Please check out Jenny, follow her, like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you in a few weeks. Bye.